Costa rhythm.
Buy this beat today.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on Costa's The Other Side. Now obviously it's Sunday and a couple of days after Valentine's, which took place on Friday the 14th. And thank you so much to Misha, Vida and of course Landi for a lovely, beautiful set that commemorates St. Valentine's. And obviously we'll be talking all things love and all things music. A big round of applause to you guys coming all the way from Eden University. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to my live studio audience. I was just saying, you guys look awesome and young. It's like you're from secondary school. But I've been told times have changed. I hope you're ready for some deep talk in love. Let's get straight into what we do every week on the program. And this is getting straight into the thoughts of the week. Now, this one says, happiness is having a dream that you cannot let go of and a partner who would never ask you to. Happiness is having a dream that you cannot let go of and a partner who would never ask you to let go of it. That is coming through from Robert Brolt. Now, procrastination is the art of keeping up with yesterday. I'll be asking my first guest about what that exactly means. It's from Don Marcus. Now, my guests on the show today are two gentlemen of extremely different backgrounds, but with one thing very much in common. These two gentlemen can be called public personalities. One, an entertainer in his own realm. He's building his own brand as a mixed DJ, club DJ, mixtape artist, and so on as a musician. The other is a brand specialist, life coach, love coach, and so on. And we'll be talking all things love, music, branding, and entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a short break. When I come back, I'll be introducing my first guest on this week's episode of Costa's The Other Side. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Costa rhythm.
Thank you so much. I promise you this is going to be a very exciting show as we're still in that Valentine's fever. My first guest on the show is a friend of mine. I've known him for the last couple of years, over 15 years, and he is known to many of you on radio, championing what he calls the Love Pill 101. He is a champion of personal branding and personal identity. He's a life coach as well as a love coach. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend and obviously a mentor to many, Pastor Steady Divine. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you so much.
I must say I love the suit, but above all, I'm a man with a fetish for good shoes. So what size is that?
So can I do like this?
Please. What I'm interested in is what size that is.
Well, I don't think I want to say now.
No.
I don't know whether I walk.
If it's 42, then basically I can give you some slippers to walk away with.
And you just hit it. It's 42.
So let's make sure as you leave set, please, somebody needs to make sure that studio rules are observed. Welcome to the show. It's a rebranded Costa now. Like you've always known, we've done too much hard talk.
I know.
So we're joining you on the love side.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited to be out here today. I like to tell people you're unpredictable, so I said my prayers.
Well,
They say courage is fear, that I said it's prayers.
I love that. Now, like I said, we've known each other from way back. I mean, the times I was at Evelyn Horn College on radio, at Horn FM. You've been in the love movement for a very, very long time. Yeah. And obviously along the years, you've built your brand into corporate coaching, mentorship, and life coaching. But the big question, and let's start with it first, is they say practice what you preach. Exactly. How do you manage to mentor people in love relationships when you're not a married person yourself?
Well, they say coaches don't play.
Well, some coaches have got a CV that they were star players at one point. So maybe if you were, maybe we didn't know that you were divorced at one point, coach.
Definitely. I like to say that sometimes you don't have to be. If God has gifted you to do something particular, He gives you the grace to be able to do it. And personally, that's the biggest question that has been in my life. How are you a coach? How are you a relationship coach? That you're not married, you practically don't have a relationship. How are you teaching people to be able to do relationships?
Because they say you have no experience.
You have no experience, you know, and I mean, look at all the doctors that do the most powerful operations in our hospitals. They do operations that they've never gone through themselves. But the blessing I have is that I've been through all the stages. I've been single, engaged, married, divorced. So I'm more qualified than somebody who's ever been through my process, because I can show you my wounds and my scars, and you can trust me.
So because you've gone through the whole process of falling in love, enjoying love, and being scarred,
and excited, looking forward for that time to get back.
You've just gotten the words out of my mouth. My next question was going to be, so are you saying that you never marry again? I mean, apart from that, your teachings, whether it's in business, it's in branding, I know you're a very staunch believer and a Christian, so most of your teachings are grounded on the Word of God. For Christianity, what would you say about the fact that is it okay for one who is a believer to divorce?
Well, I think I like to say the Bible says what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. It's not every marriage that is joined by God. So if we assume that every marriage is joined by God, then we are simply saying that it has to stay no matter what happens.
That is what happens. I mean, some of us use church as a means of endorsing our marriages. That's the time people start going to church.
Exactly, and they go for counseling, I mean, 2 hours before the wedding, so you're trying to fix your marriage, put together, and sometimes people put together what is already broken. You know, and I think I love to be very honest and transparent, to tell people my story so that you don't make the same mistakes that I have been through. Because sometimes you could be saying, oh, God brought us together, God joined this marriage, but God didn't join that. But also, let's be very honest together. There are people that brought together in a relationship. Look at people that are abused in toxic relationship, and that's one thing I'm talking about this month. And
does God promote divorce?
God hates divorce, but He doesn't hate divorced people. And that's where the mistake the church has done. It's religion. If God can forgive you, you think God would go on that cross and die for our sins and not forgive a person that has been through a divorce? Because some people have been through a divorce where they say God brought us together, but they went through a divorce. But God is saying, you know what? I have forgiven you, but you have to find a way to heal from that. So it's not a God problem. It's a man problem. It's a religion problem. Because certainly there are certain people that come together and endorse what they brought together and use God as a pawn in the game. You understand? So like you said, use our religion, you know, but also what is happening now is people using religion to keep people in toxic marriages and toxic relationship, and say you have, they call it ride or die.
Praying that a beast will change, or God will heal a beast. 2 years ago, for those in the audience that may not know, Pastor Steady is one coach that is sometimes considered very critical. Are you dating at the moment?
No, I am not dating.
Yeah, so I've asked that question because 2 years ago, women in Zambia were almost crucifying him, and he knows what I'm talking about. In that you whether it's speaking against, but you remember the posting you said about why you said you would not marry or date a woman in Zambia.
Well, I don't think I said that.
Well, at least I'm glad not to misquote
I saw someone say like, he said that.
So what did you say about Zambian women? That I'll say something that will hurt them, that they are not at your level?
Well, I said, if you look at 95% of the people on your social media platform, I'm simply saying, and that it's actually biblical. I think people misunderstand things. I said, if you look at 95% of the women on your social media platform, a lot of them, they're not marriage material. So as eligible bachelors, good men like us.
I mean, if a man says he's a good man, clap for him. How many good men do you find? Yeah.
So So good men like us are fighting for that 5%. And let me back it up with scripture.
So 95% of Zambian women are not marriage material.
I said 95, if you look at your social media, you can use Zambian women. I will use my words that I said. If you look at 95% of women on your social media platform, in the Zambian space, a lot of them, there's nothing much to write home about. There's a good quality, 5% of good women that a lot of us are fighting for.
Women, do you agree with that? I can't hear you. Do you agree with what he's saying? No. We are yet to challenge it. Yeah.
So let me, can I challenge it?
Yeah.
It's not them to decide what's good. Because I'll give an example. I see women post things on social media. I'm a virtuous woman. I'm a good woman. Who ordained you to be a good woman? Who ordained you to be a virtuous woman? Because only a man is able to tell.
They're the Proverbs woman.
Proverbs 31 woman. Only a man decides. I'll give an example. The Bible says, who can find? So finding that virtuous woman.
But the only unfortunate thing, Pastor
task.
Steady, is that when you're going into a relationship, it's always the woman with the demand of what kind of a man she should have. He should be tall, he should be handsome, he should be good looking. And the one thing that you always look for women, he should have a kind heart. But yet what they're talking about is a fat wallet. That's a kind heart, right?
Exactly. He should have more money, you know, that he brings to the relationship. So I think when women look at it, and women also are okay to say this is what we want. I'll give an example. Why, if I was a woman, that post that I put wouldn't have offended me. Because if I'm not in the 95%, why am I stressing? My league is 5%, and I'm glad to be in that league. Just like if I find women saying all men are dogs, I never take offense because I can't relate.
It just depends whether you're a Labrador or you're a pit bull, you're a pit bull or something. But we've got a couple of young guys in the audience, and for me, going into my 40s, I see that generational changes, and like we said earlier on. If you're going to have a life partner, it should be somebody who's your best friend and somebody you're able to talk to at every different level. Now, you talk about purpose. Let's define what is purpose-driven, because in many setups, young people are meeting these partners at Chicago's or at Capone. So then, this girl is fun and she twerks, or this guy is fun. He's a big bat, and things like that. Is that the purpose, that this guy is always spoiling me and is whenever I ask for money for nails? I mean, again, from the biblical setup, man is supposed to be a provider. A woman is supposed to be there to provide for a man's needs.
Yeah. Well, I like to say that, and I've said it over and over, and I don't mind repeating some statements that I make. When you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she wasn't a broke chick. She had money. She was a real estate investor. So she knew how to make money. So if you're going after a woman that waits for you 24/7, you're in trouble. Because I want to know, if you are picking a young woman as a young man, you're going to have kids. Do you want your kids to look like her? Do you want your children to have the same work ethics that this woman has? So if she twerks 24/7, if she's in the club 24/7, do you want your kids to look like her? So providing is not a problem. Every man that loves his woman wants to provide for her. But it's not a business transaction. You understand? It shouldn't be because, oh, you want me to, you know, and I feel very sad for a lot of young men because they are under pressure to out-impress. You know, going to borrow a car to go and see a chick who has no car. You understand what I'm trying to say? So there's a lot of pressure. And this is why I love healthy love. I love the fact that if we can teach our young people to be whole and complete, they will not go and steal to impress a guy. They won't have to get naked to keep a guy because they're complete. I'm a whole human being. I don't need to accessorize myself to be a good man. I actually say that to the men. You don't need to go and look big so that people can like you. You have to just be happy inside of you, who you are as a man. So if you're going to provide for your woman, I'm providing because I love you. So, you know, I'm not going around providing for every other girl that I find out there. So I think for me, those are lessons. And these are the lessons that get me in trouble, but it's fine.
It is true because, I mean, I mean, like you were just saying, if making love has to be the dessert and obviously having drinks and everything, some young men have realized that after everything has happened, the person they wake up next to without makeup, and when those wigs fall off, Purely.
It's war.
That is not the virtuous woman that you met. If people want to follow you on the pages, especially on the Love Pill 101 and the Healthy Love, how do they follow? Because we'll be taking a break and then coming to talk all things corporate and branding.
Awesome. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, you can look out for Steady Divine, at Steady Divine, or social media platform, the same handle, at Steady Divine. So when you go to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, same handle, Steady Divine.
Wonderful. So we're coming out in the aftermath of Valentine's, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest audience from Eden University. All of you have been handed some beautiful rose flowers, I believe. We're in the month of love. Wonderful. So a big hand for Pastor Steady Divine. After the break, we'll be talking all things corporate, branding.
Costa redeemed.
It's a Sunday, and just in case you're following us in the aftermath of Valentine's, this is Diamond TV on Costa's The Other Side. Remember, you can always catch us on the Mingletainment app. In case you don't have it, you can download the Mingletainment app on your Android devices, on your iStore as well. Remember, we're on Diamond TV Zambia. That's our Facebook, page. We can, you can watch and stream live on that, as well as the Star Times TV app. I'm being joined on the show by a good friend, and indeed, we come a long way, Pastor Steady Divine. I've seen the brand grow really from just relationship, coaching, from a very, very successful number of years on QFM with Talk. Yeah. We did movie TV together. But you're very, very passionate about personal branding,
exactly,
customer service, customer excellence, really, and making people understand that profits within a business are about customer satisfaction. Definitely. It's a whole topic that can take us weeks and weeks, but let's try to summarize what you do really in very few minutes.
Well, I think my biggest passion, I started up Icon Management Solutions, which is a corporate training firm. We do media as well, which we do corporate strategy and also personal branding for individuals. Because if you look at what a lot of people, I was on radio yesterday, I was on Christian Voice, and I was talking about creating a career and as an entrepreneur and building a strong brand. A lot of people don't realize the power of your brand, because your brand is your currency if you invest in who you are as a brand. And I think personal branding is not just the outside, the way you look.
The swag.
The swag. Personal branding is the inside. Personal branding is, what it is that you give out, what you're known for. In life we are known for two things: the problems we solve, the problems that we create. Your brand is known for all those things as well. So whether it's in a career, whether it's in a business, there's a lot of things that each one of us has to look at. What am I known for? What is my niche? And it's nothing to do more about your degree, your PhD, or anything. It's something that is tied to your purpose.
It's what you bring onto the table.
Can
arrogance be described as a brand?
Well, I like to say some people are a brand called stupid. When you see them...
let me clearly define where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak about myself, but in a certain, I'll say in a certain WhatsApp group, people who have confidence, people who believe in what they're doing, because they believe to say no at a certain price. I will not do. Here I will not go. This I will not do. People begin to describe you as arrogant.
Well, I'll define you as confident and intelligent, because that's the biggest problem we have. I was actually saying...
And telling the truth also.
Yes, exactly. I was telling people yesterday, I look at, and I mean, Vijay is here, he would definitely testify and say the same thing. I said it on radio yesterday. We have big corporate organizations. They are launching an expensive project, but they will bring an entertainer and they want to give them crumbs. You are launching $50 million infrastructure, but you're bringing in someone who's built a brand over the years, and you want to give them nothing for them to come and entertain the people you brought in. And when they say no, you tag them. And I think we need to rebrand our minds. If someone is gifted, if someone is good at what they do, they have to be paid what they are worth. It's the same in a business, it's in a job. If I walk into an organization, I know what I bring to the table, and I'll demand what I am worth. It's not arrogance, it's knowing the brand that I have built.
Brand value.
You speak about over 17 years. my struggles, my mistakes. I bring all those expertise to the table. I tell people I started my business in Chifundo Market in Chilenje. Even the name of a market puts me at a disadvantage.
Messy market.
Messy market. You understand? But that's where I cried my tears. That's where my bruises are. So when I come in and I'm giving you my services, I'm not trying to be sarcastic or insulting. I just know what I bring to the table. I know the investments I've made to walk away from a market and set up an organization called Icon Management Solutions, the Steady Divine Network. It means I've gone through a lot of things. So when I show up, I'm bringing my value. And this is a conversation we need to have, and I'm grateful.
Changing the narrative. There are lots of young people out here, and I'm very passionate about young people doing something. I know that coming up in March as well is Youth Day. Something fantastic is coming courtesy of the National Youth Development Center, the first inaugural Youth Entrepreneurship and Youth Achievers Awards courtesy of the ministry. I'm looking forward, to that. But why am I mentioning this? We need to have a Zambia of young people that are not apologetic for being successful.
I like that.
I need you to listen to that.
Yeah.
You do not need to apologize to be ambitious, to be successful.
Yeah.
This hypocritical thing in Zambia of saying, Twaliwa hambo, I mean, what is the difference between ala yumfwa?
Exactly.
Like you're saying, VGZ is coming up next. If you look at his Instagram pictures and his videos every morning, he wants to dress up confidently. The sauce boss, going to his beamer, going to whatever. If you drive the best car, don't be apologetic.
Exactly.
So why are you apologetic for working hard? Really?
Definitely.
Really?
Definitely.
That we can sit and buy bundles and be waiting.
And be mad that somebody didn't peach. He wasted your bundles.
Okay. So who do we have in the audience? You can just tell me your name and your question very quickly to Pastor Steady.
All right. Thank you. My name's Divine Nyamba.
Divine.
Yes,
like Pastor Steady Divine.
Yes, thank you. Actually, thanking for being part of this program, and I'm really honored giving this opportunity of asking a question from our coach. My question is very simple. I'm single, by the way, and then the problem is I'm a bit in a pressure because most of my friends or all of my close friends, they are dating, and then they are going out with Valentine's with their girlfriends. And then I just met this a lady on social media, and then I just wanted to know more about her. Maybe I can take her for a Valentine's, but I was surprised finding out to say, just knowing each other within a day, the following day, she was like, by the time we'll be going for Valentine's, the next day I want you to get me a teddy bear. Then I was like, Jesus, how can I get a teddy bear? I'm just a broke guy. Yes, so actually I agreed by the coach what he said concerning social media to say 95% of ladies in Zambia, they're not marriage material. Thank you very much. So I was just asking how are we supposed to go about it so that at least we can remain strong like you, being single and finding someone special for us. Thank you.
The gentleman up. Okay.
Now that everyone is good, hands up now. We want that lady to ask too.
Okay, my name's Samuel Myonda. I'll give an example. Just like they say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I'm in a relationship. Sorry, I'll have to publicize this. My girlfriend is based in another city, and I'm based in another city. But how can I maintain that distance relationship? Because you tend to discover that I get worried, like 1 week down, 1 month down, no call, no text message. So how do I maintain that distance relationship?
Okay, quickly, let's get the lady behind there, then Pastor Steady can respond before we take a break.
My name is Mwaka Mwape. My question is, with what you said about the 95% of ladies on social media, there's a quote that says, looks can be deceiving and you don't have to judge a person. So how sure are you that the 95% are not marriage material? Because you surely can't judge someone by how they look and what they do. Yeah. So, okay, as for me, I'm single and I've got friends that are dating. So a lot of people would approach me and say, how come you're all this, but then you're single. It's not everyone that goes for materialistic.
Why are you single? What are you waiting for?
I don't know. I think
Oh, okay,
I
let me-
haven't found the right
The right
person
man.
yet.
So where are you, 5% or 95%?
I think I'm on the 5%.
You're not sure. Okay, so are you done with your question? Okay, I think we need to close it there for now due to time. So Pastor Steady, I think the first one was more a comment on the pressure because time is really not with us. I think the key one is a distance relationship, and again, just looks are deceiving. I'll just give you 2 minutes to really snap through those.
So what I'm going to do for the two gentlemen and the lady who one is in a long distance relationship, the other two are single. I'm doing something on Valentine's Day at 7D Cinema at East Park. So I'm going to give you free tickets. So you're not lonely. So the ticket is worth 350 kwacha. So I'm making an investment in you so that you're not lonely. So it's going to be an amazing thing. But I want to say something to you. Better grown old single than married wrong. And get it from me. Better grown old single than married wrong. You don't lose anything. And be whole, be complete. Don't shy away. Don't be under pressure to get into a relationship because you just want to look like you're in a relationship. That's when it ends up in a situationship. You know, for you that is in a long distance relationship, I like to tell people love is a full-time job. You have to make the investment, especially you that is a man, because sometimes men tend to get very busy. If you found a woman that you like, distance is not the problem. It's the two people that are in the relationship. So sometimes we like to accuse distance. Distance is not the problem. It's you sustaining it. You have to be very intentional about it. You know, even when you don't feel the love, you still have to wake up, send a text message. Be the man. Spoiler. You know, I like to tell people God will give you a woman, but it's your job to, fuel up. You know, you have to know where. Right now it's Valentine's. I'll be very disappointed if you haven't sent your gift already.
God will give you the cup. Fill it up.
Fill it up. So don't wait for her to communicate. Be the man. You are the man. You have to change the game. You know, it's your full-time job to love your woman. I like to tell people when I get married, I want to see that woman walk back to her parents' house in tears and crying and say, what is it? Is it abuse? He says, the love is too much. It's overflowing. It's overflowing. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that's what you should be doing and preparing for. I like to... About 95%, I'll connect it to branding. Social media is a very powerful tool. Don't show people the picture that you are not, because social media is a platform to get jobs, to get relationships. So don't, and I see this thing a lot of people do. You just go on social media and be silly and do funny things. Oh, this is not the real me. The world doesn't get it. What you advertise is what you believe.
There's a digital footprint.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So there's that footprint. So when you go on social media, be very intentional. When you go to my social media, I am me. You want me to twin brother of me outside social media. I am putting my best foot forward. And genuinely from my heart, I want every post I put to be a reflection of my private life. So if I say on social media I'm a loyal man, come in my private space, you won't find skeletons. I have no time to do double dealings. I have to be as consistent as I am in my private space. So to young people like you, whatever you're putting on social media, your future employers are looking out for your lifestyle because it says something about you.
And your future husband.
And your future boo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Steady Divine, thank you so much. Remember that it's on all the pages, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter as well.
Yeah.
It's Coach Steady Divine.
Yeah.
A big round of applause once again for him. What a brilliant, show, and who best else to have on a Valentine's and a love month than Pastor and Coach Steady. After the break, we're going to be popping some Melanin, my good friend. And obviously, for those of you, there's nothing wrong in partying. There's nothing wrong in being entertained. VGZ, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up after the break.